video relating to the crime, did you recognize someone in that video?
The first time, no.
At some point?
Yes, I did.
All right. And did you have some contact with police of the Detroit Police Department?
Yes.
And when you had contact with those officers, did you indicate to them whether or not you would recognize someone in the video that you'd seen?
Yes.
What did you indicate to the officers?
Then I thought I knew him, a person in the video.
That you thought you knew him?
Yes.
All right. Did you make a statement to the officers?
Yes, I did.
All right. I'm about to ask you some questions about it. You said that you told them that you thought you saw him or knew the person in the video.
Yes.
How certain were you of who you had seen in the video?
I was certain, very certain.
You were very certain. And
Yes.
did you tell the officers that you were very certain of the person that you had seen?
Yes.
And the person that you saw in that video, is that the same person you've identified here today is Mr. Steward before?
Yes.
I don't have any. Oh. Showing you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit Number 1. When you spoke with the officers, did they show you what I'm handing you now?
Yes.
All right, and is that a photograph?
Yes.
And is that photograph contain one individual within the photograph?
Yes.
People would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 1 into evidence.
No objection.
Proceed.
Is this your signature at the bottom of this photograph, this exhibit?
Yes.
All right. And did you indicate on that photograph that you recognized the defendant in that photograph?
Yes.
No further questions.
Ms. Clanton, how often do you see or have you seen George Steward, who you've identified here in court, say within the past year?
I haven't seen him for about a year and a half. A year.
For how long?
A year.
Okay. And more than a year or a year?
About a year and a half.
Okay, about a year and a half?
Yes.
Could even have been longer, is
No,
that correct?
no.
You have to let me finish the question, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. So at least a year and a half is the last time that you saw the man who's seated here in court today. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you indicated that you are his aunt.
Yes, I am.
You have to let me finish, please.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Thank you. You indicated that you are this young man's aunt. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that means that you are his mother or his father's sister. Is that accurate?
Mother.
You're his
I'm
mother's...
his mother's aunt. I'm his mother's aunt.
Okay. So you're his mother's aunt?
Yes, I
not
am.
His mother's sister?
No.
Okay. So prior to a year and a half, how often would you see him?
Not often.
All right. So he's somebody that although you call yourself his aunt, he's not somebody who's you're really involved with. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you indicated in your statement that hold on one minute, please. That the news showed the house where your nephew and family live. Is that correct?
No.
You didn't tell that to the police?
That the family. Repeat.
Let me ask you this way. The police asked you a question and said, what brings us to your home today? Do you remember the police officer asking you that question?
I don't remember
All right.
then.
You remember telling the police officer, I was watching the news, and then you later in the statement you say, the news showed the house where my nephew and family live. Is that correct?
I didn't say it like that, no.
Okay, well, do you have the statement there?
No, I don't.
Okay. Can I approach the witness, Your Honor? Okay. Why don't you take a look at that first paragraph?
Okay.
Let me know when you're done reading it.
I will. I think they worded it wrong. I
Okay.
didn't exactly say that.
Ma'am, you would agree with me that it says that the news showed the house where your nephew and family live. Is that correct?
That's what's on the statement, yes.
Okay, well, you signed the statement, didn't you?
I might have not read it correctly.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
May I approach the witness again, Your Honor? Did you sign the bottom?
Yes, I did.
Let me finish, please. Did you sign the bottom of the first page where that sentence is?
Yes, I did.
Did you sign the second page of the statement?
Yes, I did.
And you signed the third page, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And the officer gave you an opportunity to look at it, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And make any corrections that you wanted to?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And you didn't make any corrections?
I
is that
probably
right?
didn't read it because I didn't have my glasses
Okay.
on.
Ma'am, the question was, you didn't make any corrections, did you?
No.
Okay. Now, did you know that your nephew lived at that house?
Yes, I did.
How long had he lived there?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, when did you find out that he lived there?
Maybe it might have been a week before.
You found out a week before that he lived at that house?
Yes,
And who'd you find that out from?
from one of my sisters.
Is that also an aunt to Mr. Steward's mother?
Yes.
Now, when you were testifying a few minutes ago, you told the prosecutor who asked you some questions that you saw the video on the news and you didn't remember the date. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then you told her that the first time you saw the video, you didn't recognize anybody in the video. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. When did you decide that you recognized somebody in the video?
The next morning.
Okay. So you see somebody that you now claim is your nephew in a video, right?
Yes.
And you don't recognize them at all. Is that right?
Do you just want me to say yes or no?
You didn't recognize him, correct?
I would have to explain myself about the first time, but no, I.
All right. And so the next morning, you decide that you recognize your nephew in the video.
Yes.
Was that after talking to somebody?
No.
When's the last time you spoke to your niece? Miss-
Pardon me?
Your niece, I would imagine it's your niece. If you're George Steward's mother's aunt, when's the last time you spoke with Miss Moore?
It's been years.
So you don't have any kind of relationship with her either, is that right?
Not really, no.
I don't have anything
You said that the first time you saw the video of the gas station, you didn't recognize the person in it. Why is that?
Because it was dark. The next day they had showed a different still picture.
A still picture?
Yes.
And from the still photograph, you know, you recognize the person?
Yes.
Do you have anything against your nephew, Mr. Stewart?
No.
Are you here today because you want to be here today?
No.
No further questions?
Ms. Silver.
Nothing further at this time.
Ms. Clanton, you said that you hadn't seen your nephew. He would actually be your great nephew.
Yes.
Okay. You said that you hadn't seen him in about a year and a half. Is that right?
Right.
Would you know him if you saw him?
Yes.
And you say you saw him on the news?
Yes.
All right. When you saw him on the news, at what point did you see him? Was it in, well, you tell me.
Okay, when it first happened, I saw him, he was on the news, and they were, the newscasters. I saw him then, okay, but I didn't.
When he was being interviewed?
Yes, but I didn't think anything about it. Okay, when they showed him at the gas station, I knew it looked like somebody I knew, but I didn't have an inkling who it was because it was a dark picture. Okay, the next day, they show a picture, still picture, and I knew exactly what I thought, you know, because he looks like his sister, and they have the same features. And I took care of his sisters for years. She was small.
I see.
Yes.
Any questions based on my questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So the first time that you saw him, he was actually being interviewed on TV?
Yes.
And so you saw him and heard him speaking?
Yes, I did.
And you didn't know that it was your nephew?
Yes, I did. I said I knew that was him being interviewed.
Okay, that was the first thing you saw, correct?
Yes, it was.
I thought you told us earlier that the first time you saw him on TV...
Objection. It's a mischaracterization of the question. The question that was asked was the first time she saw him at the gas station.
That's correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. So the first night that you saw him on TV, that's when he was being interviewed?
I didn't see him at night. It was during the day.
Okay, you saw him being interviewed.
Yes, I did.
That's the first time you saw him on TV?
Yes.
Okay. And that first time that you saw him on TV in that video, you didn't recognize him? Or you did recognize him?
I didn't recognize him on the video at the gas station because it was dark.
Okay, but you recognized him when you saw him on the video being interviewed?
Yes, when the newscasters were interviewing him, I knew he was, yes.
And then when you first saw the video from the gas station, when was that?
I think it was the same day that it happened.
And you didn't recognize him in that video?
No, because it was dark.
Nothing further.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Thank you.
What exhibit was that was admitted? Was that one?
One.
Published to the clerk. You can just- Thank you.
One second.
Your name?
Diane Jones.
How do you spell it?
D-I-A-N-E. Jones, J-O-N-E-S.
Thank you.
Please raise your right hand, ma'am. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth? They're not going to show your face. Okay? Pull that microphone close to the mouth. Let's put that into that voice. I usually don't allow hats.
Okay.
But then you're not going to be on TV anyway.
Okay.
All right. You may proceed when you're ready.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please tell us your name.
Diane Jones.
All right, and Ms. Jones, do you know an individual by the name of George Steward IV?
Yes.
How do you know that person?
That's my nephew.
Your nephew? Is that a yes?
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry.
And at some point, did you become aware that Detroit police were investigating a homicide of a 91-year-old man?
Yes.
And did you see on the news some video that caught your attention?
Yes.
And the video that you saw, was it video from a gas station surveillance?
The first, yeah, I seen that video too, yes.
And when you saw the surveillance, why did it catch your attention?
The first one didn't.
All right.
Yes.
What video caught your attention?
When they showed the close-up of the picture, I seen a close-up of it.
There was a gas station video, is that true?
Yes, yes.
And then there was
Objection, Judge Leading.
Sustained.
was there then a photograph or an image that was taken out of that video that you saw?
Yes.
Is it that image that was taken out of the video that you recognized?
Yes.
How did you recognize, or what about it did you recognize? Very good. I'm approaching.
Wait, was there an answer to the question?
I didn't hear an answer.
Yes. Could you repeat the question again? That question.
Let me do this. I'm approaching you with what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit Number 2.
Yes.
All right. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
It looks like my nephew.
No, the picture that I'm showing you. Is this a
Okay.
picture that you've seen before?
Yes, on the news.
Okay. And was it also a picture that was shown to you by officers of the police department?
Yes.
Detroit Police?
Yes.
And when they showed you this picture, did you recognize someone in it?
Yes.
Did you tell the Detroit Police that?
Yes.
People would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 2 into evidence.
You know, I haven't seen it, and I don't have it.
I thought she just showed it to me.
Well, I thought it was the same one that was number 1 that was shown. I haven't seen one for Diane Jones. I've seen one. Judge, I would ask that the court order that I be provided with a copy of that photo and statement on the back of the photo.
I'm handing you People's Proposed Exhibit 2 again. On the back of this is their writing.
Yes.
All right, and is that your signature located at the bottom of this?
Yes.
People would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 2 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Proceed.
When you were presented with that image, when you saw that image, who did you recognize in the photograph?
George.
And did you tell the officers that?
Yes.
How certain were you of the person that you saw in that photograph?
Face. His face.
Okay. Are you, so you're certain about his face, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you see that person here in court today?
Yes.
And can you point to him and identify him for the record?
George Steward.
Please let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant, Mr. Steward.
What is he wearing today, ma'am?
Green.
So noted, the witnesses identified the defendant in this matter, George Robert Steward.
At the time that you made this statement, do you recall the date that you made the statement? Did you talk to the police?
On the 24th.
Of November?
Yes.
Did you know where your nephew was living?
No.
I don't have any additional questions.
Cross-examine.
You said, ma'am, that you didn't know where your nephew lived?
No.
When's the last time prior to November of 2015 that you had seen your nephew? May I have that, please, so that you don't... Thank you. When is the last time prior to November the 24th that you saw your nephew?
June, because he used to come to my house.
June of 2015?
Yes.
Okay. So the last time he came to your home was June of 2015?
Yes.
And that's the last time you saw him?
Yes, during the summertime, yes.
And you said, I think, that you didn't know where he lived?
No, no.
Okay, well, you told the police that he lived with his grandfather in Detroit.
I had just found that out. But
Oh,
yeah.
so you didn't know that? That's something that somebody else told you?
Yeah, somebody, yeah. They say that well, I heard it on the news that he lived with his
So you heard it on the news?
Yeah.
And so you put in here when the officer said, where does George live? You said he lives with his grandfather in Detroit. Same street it happened on, is that right?
I said he lived with his grandfather, yeah, what I heard on the news.
Okay, so that's not your own personal knowledge, it's just something you heard on the news?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you didn't really have a close relationship with him then, is that correct?
No, not really close.
One moment, please. When you said on this statement to the police, when they asked you how long has he lived with his grandfather, you said a week. Is that because somebody told you that also?
Yes.
Okay, or you heard it on TV?
Yes.
You didn't know that either?
No.
Now, at some point before you spoke with the police, you spoke with Miss Clanton, is that right? Denise Clanton?
Yes.
Okay, she your sister?
Yes.
All right. So before talking to the police, you spoke to Denise Clanton, is that correct?
Yes.
Who else did you speak to?
My daughter,
What's your daughter's name?
Chantel,
And who else?
and that's it.
Did you ever speak to George Steward's mother, your niece?
No.
When's the last time you spoke to her?
Objection. What's the relevance?
Why is that relevant?
I will withdraw the question. Nothing further.
Can you read there?
You indicated that Mr. Steward would come to your house over the summer.
Yes.
How frequently?
Him and his sister used to come a lot.
And that's over this past summer?
Yeah. Before they when they got out of school, they would just come with my granddaughter and kind of, listen to music and hang out.
All right. And that was at your home?
Yeah, me and my daughter's house, yes.
Thank you.
So George Steward, he came to your house in June?
It was during the summertime. I can't exactly, it's before they moved, so
Before who moved?
they did.
Who's they?
The family,
Okay.
the family.
So did George come to you, how frequently did he come in June?
He used to come a lot.
Okay,
Yes.
that was Did you ever visit him in the hospital in June of 2015?
No, I didn't.
Did you know he was in the hospital?
Objection to the relevance.
She's saying he came.
Overruled.
Thank you.
I can't quite remember what month, it
Ma'am,
was.
Ma'am, the question was, in June of 2015, when you would see your nephew so frequently, did you visit him in the hospital?
No, I didn't.
Did you know he was in the hospital?
No, I didn't.
I don't have any further questions.
Anything else, Ms.
No.
Williams? Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Who's the next witness?
Aaron Hawthorne. Hepzorn.
Oh, is that the fire guy?
No.
Sir, please step forward, give your name and spelling to the court report. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. Pull the microphone. There you go. You may begin.
Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Please tell us all your name.
Aaron Hathorn,
How were you employed?
City of Romulus Police Officer.
And do you have a current assignment?
Yes.
What is that?
School Resource Officer at Romulus High School.
Okay. On November 23rd of this year, did you become aware of the Detroit police investigating a homicide of a 91-year-old gentleman?
Yes.
And did you see some gas station video relating to that homicide investigation?
Yes.
When you viewed that video, did something capture your attention?
Yes.
What?
The young man on the video was someone that I know.
How did you know that young man in the video?
Being a student at Romulus High School.
All right. And when you saw that person and recognized that person, what did you do?
I contacted Detroit Police to see if, see where they were, and if they, in fact, knew who that was.
And did you inform the Detroit police that you recognized the person in that video?
Yes.
Who did you tell them the person was?
I told him that person was George Steward.
And do you see that person here in court today?
Yes.
Can you point to him, identify something that he's wearing?
George Steward wearing Wayne County green.
Please let the record reflect the witness is pointed to and identified the defendant, Mr. Steward, before.
So noted.
When you observed Mr. Steward in that video, how certain were you of who you were looking at?
I was 100% certain.
Do you recall about the last time it would have been that you saw Mr. Steward outside of the video?
I would say a week prior, at least.
No further questions.
Cross-examine.
What day is it that you saw the video?
I don't remember what the exact day was, ma'am.
Was your contact with the Detroit Police Department the same day or the next day?
The same day.
So, the 24th of November?
If that's the date that you have, yes, the 20th.
And did you see stills or did you see a video?
I saw both.
Who showed you the stills? Was that on what you saw on TV also?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Can you redirect?
No.
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
You're welcome.
I have just 1 second.
Okay. Time's up.
I'm sorry?
Time's up.
No.
I see People's Exhibit 2. Oh, I made her.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Ready? Ready?
Yes.
Back on the record on People versus Stewart. Good afternoon, sir. Please give your name and spelling to the court reporter.
Lieutenant Rance Dixon. Rance Dixon, R-A-N-C-E. D-I-X-O-N. R-A-N-C-E.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. Hold the microphone to your left, up to your mouth. Speak directly into that voice, okay? You may begin when you're ready.
May we approach?
So you don't need to approach?
I don't think so.
No.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Please, you can pull that closer to you. Please tell us all your name
Lieutenant Rance Dixon.
and how are you employed?
I'm a fire investigator for the City of Detroit Fire Department.
For what length of time have you worked in that capacity?
Approximately 10 years, but I've been part of the Detroit Fire Department for approximately 17.
Now, on November 23rd, 2015, were you called to investigate a fire at 20556 Benford Street?
Yes.
Is that in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
And do you recall about what time it would have been that you arrived at the scene?
No, I don't. But shortly after the fire companies arrived and discovered the body, I was already en route since it was a box alarm, and I was notified en route that there was a body discovered at the scene.
All right. And so when you receive that information, is that when you go to the location?
Yes. Working midnights, usually I try to go to all box alarms while I'm on duty.
What is a box alarm?
A box alarm is generally, for the city, it's usually 3 fire engines, a ladder company truck, squad, and the chief.
And so is that information that you received about this location on Bentler Street?
Yes, I was listening to the fire radio at the time, and I was going out there just to see what was going on, what the deal was.
All right. And so when you arrive at the location, are there police present?
Yes, a scout was on the scene.
Is there fire present?
Yes.
And has the fire been extinguished when you arrived, or is it still ablaze?
They were still, fire suppression was still ongoing when I got to the scene.
And so when you arrive at the location, what do you do?
I pretty much wait until the fire companies are finished putting the fire out and clearing the smoke, and then I go in and take a look around.
And when you arrive at a location, a fire scene, what is it that you're there to do?
I'm there to investigate the cause and origin of the fire.
Do you have any particular training in that area?
Yes, I do. I've completed the Michigan State Police, I believe it's 70-hour course, which has been tested. I am certified fire investigator through the National Association of Fire Investigators. I've had various other training in my 10 years, including vehicle fire under NAFI, which is the National Association of Fire Investigators, various other classes, tested and non-tested.
And do you undergo continued training in this?
Yes, yes.
And when you arrived at the location on Bentler Street, what did you do?
I talked to the fire companies to see what they saw, where the location of the body was.
Was the body still present when you arrived?
Yes.
Right. And where did you observe that body?
Just inside the front door. The front door leads directly into the living room. So he was, this was the front door. He was approximately a couple of feet to the right of the front door, laying on his back.
All right. And what do you do once you go inside?
I look around, check the whole dwelling, basement, bedrooms. I'll go around the back and the perimeter of the dwelling as well.
All right. And when you're in there, what is it that you're looking for?
Looking for potential causes. First of all, I'm trying to figure out where the fire originated, and then after that, I look at potential causes and try to eliminate certain causes and try to develop a theory as to how.
Qualify this witness as an expert in fire investigation or fire origin and causation.
I would move to do that.
No objection.
All right. The court finds that the witness may testify as an expert in that field. May proceed.
Let's start first with the origination of the fire. Once you were inside of the location and conducting your investigation, were you able to determine where the fire originated?
Yes, right. The area actually where the victim was and kind of radiated out from the victim.
Say that again.
Where the victim was located, just inside the door, that particular area radiating out from the victim is where that fire started. It spread out from where he was located.
So the fire spreads out from the victim's body?
Yes.
So does that mean...
Or that general area, yes.
Were you able to make a determination about whether it was the victim's body that the fire originates from or something nearby it?
There was so many combustibles, things that surrounding the victim. Initially, I just put that general area. I believe it's the southwest corner or portion of that living room area. It was an open space, and I couldn't tell if at first I could not tell if it was next to the victim and kind of radiated toward the victim, or the victim himself and radiated out. But at the conclusion of my investigation, the victim was pretty much in the center of the area.
All right, and the fire then radiates out from the body of the victim.
Right.
Now, after you determine where the fire originates, are you able to draw a conclusion about what the cause of the fire is?
Yes, the cause was incendiary.
What does that mean?
That means it was intentionally set.
How do you make that determination?
Well, various ways, but in this case, I eliminated other causes such as electrical, mechanical, accidental, and I had other circumstances such as an accelerant was used in this case.
Okay. What leads you to conclude that there was an accelerant that was used?
I smelled it actually, and took pieces of evidence off of the victim that actually had the strong odor of an accelerant.
And when you say accelerant, would that be like gasoline?
Yes.
Like gasoline, or was it gasoline?
No, it was gasoline.
Were you, you said that the body of the victim was still present when you arrived.
Yes.
Did you notice any injury to the body?
Yes.
What kind of injury did you see?
There was injury to the head. He had lacerations on his left hand. He had what appeared to be an indentation on his torso, plus the fire damage to the body as well.
I don't have any additional questions.
Cross-examine?
Yes, thank you. So you have told us that you were the arson investigator at the scene, is that right?
Yes.
And you prepared a report, is that correct?
Yes.
And in your report, you just testified that the fire originated, I guess, or radiated out from the victim, is that correct?
Yes.
And in your report, you say the fire seemed to radiate out from the location of the victim.
Yes.
So why the use of the word seemed, if your opinion is that the fire did radiate out from the victim?
Because the victim himself was in the center of the fire damaged area, like almost dead center.
Okay, so I guess I still don't understand the use of the word seemed. Is that you're not 100% confident, or that's your impression?
That I am confident, and that is definitely my impression.
Okay.
Yes.
And so the wording, the fire seemed to radiate out from the location of the victim, just your choice of language, I guess?
Just my choice of language, yes.
Who else were you working with that night doing the arson portion of the investigation?
My captain showed up, Captain McNulty.
So it was you and McNulty?
Yes.
Okay. There were others there from arson as well, like Sergeant Russell?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't participate in the actual arson investigation?
Not the fire investigation on the inside. He was in and out, but he was more canvassing and other things of that nature. He, Detective Tangway, and Officer Holcradle. They were all part of the arson task force that were out there that
Okay,
year.
they were doing what Russell was doing?
Yes.
And it was you and McNulty doing the actual arson investigation?
Yes.
Now, you testified that there was so many combustible things surrounding.
Yes.
When you say so many combustible things, what are you talking about?
Combustibles are just items in a room, like the table, the chair, the papers, whatever's in a room and can burn is considered a combustible.
Okay. There was a lot of electrical kinds of things in there too, is that correct?
That's correct.
A lot of heaters and televisions and television parts and stuff like that too, is that correct?
No heaters, television and television parts though, yes.
All throughout the house, is that correct?
All throughout the house.
Did you find any kind of gas can or anything like that in the house?
Not in the area of origin. I can't remember if anything was in the basement or not, but
Well,
I don't remember seeing anything right in that living room area. No, there was no gas can.
You looked through the whole house,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
And I would assume that had you found or located anything such as a gas can, you certainly would have preserved it, is that correct?
Correct.
And none was preserved in this case?
Not during the fire investigation, no.
Okay, not by you?
Not by me, no.
And not by any evidence technicians at the scene?
Not at the scene, no.
Well, there were evidence technicians at the scene while you were there, is that correct?
Correct.
And they would be documenting the scene for anything of evidentiary value, right?
Assume so, yes.
Nobody pointed out any gas can to you?
No.
You found nothing in the area that was the source of that fire's ignition, is that correct?
Correct.
Such as a lighter or matches or anything like that?
No, didn't see anything, no.
Any way to tell how long the fire had been burning?
Not precisely. Like I can tell if it was burning 2 minutes, 20 minutes, just based on the fire damage and looking at the scene. No.
I have nothing further, thank you.
Can you redirect?
Yes. Did you know any fire damage to the structure itself, the location?
Yes.
What?
To the in that area, the flooring, the walls, the ceiling, to the furniture, to
And what type of damage to the structure did you know?
that was all fire, heat, and smoke damage.
Thank you.
Fair to say charring?
Charring did occur.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
Ms. Willis?
No, thank you.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. We've almost got this in.
I'm sorry?
So we could have almost gotten all of this in. Okay, we are back on the record on People versus Steward. Sidebar conversation, and my understanding is that we have approximately 3 witnesses left. Shouldn't be very long, but needless to say, we won't be able to hear from them today. So I need to get together on the calendars and see what day available next week so we can get the medical examiner here as well as the 2 other witnesses or the medical examiner's report is going to be stipulated to. So we have to get it in by next week though, so Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Oh, we're here Thursday and Friday, so what's wrong with Thursday and Friday?
I can't do Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
It'll be in the afternoon, right?
Yes. We could do morning if morning works for you.
I was just conferring with, about a case I have set for trial on Monday to be sure that, I could do it Monday.
Monday?
It's fine.
Morning or afternoon?
I think I'm available anytime Monday. I haven't, the reason I'm saying that is I have a trial supposed to start, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out.
Just to be on the safe side, then let's set it for the afternoon.
All right. Okay, what time, 1:30?
1:30.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll put this matter over to Monday, December 14th at 1:30 p.m. Defendant will be remanded to the custody of the Wayne County Sheriff. This is on It's a bunch of probable cause. All these probable, they're all probable cause charges on this. And no exams.
They said they're trying to get